whispers in the dark, where shadows move and questions remain unanswered. Tonight, we step beyond the veil. Welcome to Journey through the EGH Talk Show, where the paranormal meets the unexplained, and the truth is never far away. From ghostly encounters to UFO sightings to the mysteries that keep us awake at night. You're not just watching, you're part of the investigation. So dim the lights, open your mind, and prepare to question everything you thought you knew. This is your journey into the unknown.
Hello everybody and welcome to the EGH Talk Show, live and exclusive on all platforms wherever you are watching. I hope you can hear us. I don't know if we're live on certain things, but you know what? Who cares? Who knows? I've give up to that point of worrying. It's Thursday, the 4th of June. Let us know if you can see us, and then we should be all right. I never know. I do never know if we're live, but welcome everybody. And look, the team is back together again. I'm just going to see if we're live on anything that we have got. I can never ever tell. Oh, look at that. We're live on TikTok. Hello, TikTok world, which is a start, isn't it? It is a start. As you can see, I am joined by the wonderful Mr. Psychic Sai, and I am joined by Mr. Paranormal Paul, back from sunning himself in Disneyland with his Mickey Mouse ears on. Let's start with you, Mr. Paranormal Paul. How are we doing?
Oh, very well, thank you. Yes, not too bad, mate. I'm still recovering. My Disney legs are...
Your Disney legs have not kicked in.
Disney legs, mate. Disney legs. You've ever been Disneyland, you know about Disney legs. By the end of the day, you're walking like a zombie.
we did America many years ago. To be fair, I don't think I can remember too much, to be fair, because as all I remember is Grandad ringing us at, what was it, 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, saying, how's the holiday? He couldn't quite grasp the time aspect. It was, sorry, Grandad, we're still in bed. Well, what? We're still in bed at 10 o'clock for? 10 o'clock in the morning? Remember that?
Yeah, I do. Remember the Hulk ride, though?
Never again. Never again.
I haven't done the America, mate. I was just an easy Paris job for me.
Welcome everybody, and I'm glad you had a nice time, even though that it sounded like the pints were an extortionate amount of money, but as you say, it's pretty standard from around the globe.
But we had lovely weather, though. I mean, the first 2 days it was 35 degrees, which is a bit too hot for Disney, don't get me wrong, but I'd sooner that than what they've got at the moment. Is absolutely teeming down.
Well, I think it's everywhere, but we are going into catastrophic El Nino weather, aren't we, as of the middle of June?
It's that global warming, mate.
Have you heard it?
Super El Nino.
Yeah, have you heard what we are in for if this happens?
Oh, yeah. It's terrible.
It'd be the hottest ever summer on record since records began, they are predicting average daily temperatures of 38 degrees to the middle of September. With no rain, just...
If that happens.
Oh, dreading it. I'm dreading that. If that happens, I'm all...
That one.
I feel like I'd go Iceland for holiday, I think. Do you know what I mean? Just to sort of get a bit of temperature down. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the chat. I think Lisa's in the chat. Good evening, Lisa. Let us know where you are watching you from. I've got TikTok up on my left-hand side. I know we don't physically see the live chat on there, but if there is any comments come through, it is on my screen next to me, so I can put your questions to us or any questions that you want answering as well. Don't forget, guys, we are also on Spotify as well. So if you haven't managed to catch us before and you want to have a listen again over on Spotify, just go to Journey Through the EGH Talk Show. We're over there. We've got episodes backed up from there. If you want to listen back to the amazing Gary Hesseltine that we did a couple of weeks ago. If you want to go back and listen to our adventures of past investigations, we've done an A to Z of ghost hunting. So anything like that, guys, please go and give it a like and a follow and listen again. Please feel free to. But tonight, okay, I haven't said good evening, Mr. Psychic Si. I forgot about
Evening,
you.
mate. Evening.
I'm going to say, have you got any rants?
I do have one, but I don't know if I should air it tonight.
Okay, then. Well, don't air it then, just in case we take us off air.
Well, no, I just think of people being able to walk around with with bloody blades to defend themselves because of their religion. It's beyond the realms. That fathomed me this week, so that is my rant. And I don't really want to go into that story because of that poor boy. But at the end of the day, if we were out there carrying knives, even if it wasn't the thing that killed him, if we were carrying knives like that, we'd be arrested. Come on. So why should a culture be allowed to do that? I'm sorry. This bloody world is an ass, and Tuti Kia should not be going with a family. He should be stopping it. He should just be putting an end to it. So, right, nobody carries anything. It's our culture, okay, the religion, but let's draw a line at this. I don't care how small the knives are. They're not meant to do any damage because it's for ceremony. Yeah. Oh, now where's it gone?
So you've had him taken off already, Si.
Right, where you go? But yeah, so not really a rant, just an observation. But now we've lost Russ.
So he is still on live, but we've lost him.
Oh, we've lost him. Russ, we can't see you.
Oh, no, sorry, it's a delay. So he might have left as well.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know where I went. I think
you went to confiscate the weapons.
Thank you. Sorry, I disappeared. I don't know where I went. But hook or by crook, I think we've managed to stay live. I'm hoping.
Yeah. I think
so. Yeah. I agree. We shouldn't. Kurt says, I agree. No one should be allowed to carry weapons. No exceptions. Totally agreed. But that's not for this tonight's show. Okay.
No, it was just my rant for the week.
That's your rant for the week. That's for not tonight's show. But God rest anyone's soul that has been harmed in anything like that. But tonight we're going to go along the front. A few of our favourites I've named the show tonight. And we are going to go through a few of our favourite things that we've ever talked about on this show. And I put it like that loosely because we're going to be talking about maybe our favourite ever ghost hunting experience. We may be talking about our favourite ever ghost hunting story, conspiracy theories, and we're going to be talking about our favourite maybe ufology experiences as well. So please stay tuned, stay in. And let us know and what your stories are. What's your favourite thing that you've heard over time? You know, what you've enjoyed doing. I know there's probably a couple of team members in there. I know we've got Essex Kurt that's been on events with us and he does paranormal stuff himself. Lisa's with us. So, put your favourite bits in. What have you enjoyed the most? If you are watching on TikTok, please hit that like button, please. Please smash that like button as much as you can to get that algorithm nice and high. Right, let's go. So, what do you want to start off with? I'm going to go because Simon made the show today. So it was Si's comment. I had nothing planned. I couldn't even think of anything planned because my brain is so frazzled that I couldn't even think. But Simon and Paul they've given us the next 2 weeks shows, which is great. I haven't got to worry. So we've got the next 2 shows planned, but we are going to be talking about what we like. We've got loads of people in. We've got Joe in the chat as well. We'll be talking about that later on.
Definitely agree with that. Definitely agree with
Stuart has joined us as well. So hello, Stuart. Right, here we go. We are on all platforms tonight. We've got a nice lot of you in the chat. We're nice on YouTube. Let's go domino. Right, Simon, you can start off with whatever you want to talk about, but I will say throughout this show, we've all got to have one ghost story, one conspiracy story, and one ufology story. If it's real or not, but we must touch at least one. They are the remits for tonight's show, and that's the thing. But we can have more if we get through it. All right? There's plenty to choose from. So, Simon, start us off with what you want to talk about.
Do you want all 3, or do you just want one at a time?
We just go one at a time so we can then mingle amongst ourselves, have a chat, and go again.
My favourite ghost story would be either the Battersea poltergeist or the Enfield poltergeist.
And for the people who don't know about it, you need to give them a little rundown.
The Enfield poltergeist was a story back in Enfield back in the 80s where a girl called, I think Janet was her name.
Yes.
Paul might put me right. Got possessed by a demonic force poltergeist, but I think it was just the spirit that used to live in that house. It made national press. Certainly made national press. I think even the Warrens came over, got involved in it to try and debunk it. A lot of people did debunk it, and the girl, Janet herself, went on record to say she faked it or faked parts of it just to get everybody off her back. But the thing was with that, she was then put into sort of, I wouldn't say an asylum because that'd be the wrong word, but she was taken away from the family for about 3 months, and it still went on.
It was at a nunnery, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was a nunnery, yeah. But they did lots of tests on her, didn't they? And tried to say things and get people in there. But there was a photographer, and I'd love to get him on this show. And I know he's still alive, and I know he still talks about it. I think his name was, can't remember. He was a photographer, and he filmed it all. So he actually caught bits in there. And it really just makes my mind sick every minute. The same as it's very much the same story of the Battersea poltergeist, but that house has gone now. It was knocked down, but that was a similar thing, and it occurred to a young girl. So it did affect. So that's my sort of favourite stories, in many ways. It just makes my mind tick. And I'd have loved to have been there, and I'd still love to get into the Enfield house because I know they say nothing.
But that's 2 different stories here, isn't it? You've got the Battersea poltergeist and then you've got the Enfield poltergeist.
Yeah, but it was similar story, wasn't it? But they were both similar stories. That it was a girl that was possessed. But yeah, the Enfield was the latest one, and the Enfield house.
The Battersea one predated, didn't it?
Yeah, it was late
right?
50s, early 60s. Yeah,
that predated the Enfield. When the Enfield one is the most, obviously, I think probably the most prevalent ghost story within that.
It's the most documented.
Yes.
Yeah.
That story. We all know that story. I think anyone who's been in the paranormal would quite understand what the Enfield poltergeist is. The Battersea one, I think, is very, very. Is it that?
Actually, Graham Morris, and he's still alive. He's still alive, and I wish we could get him on here.
There, Kim, go for it.
Please, Kim.
Yeah. So we've got 2 different stories there. We've got the Battersea one, which you know, it was made for us was made famous by Danny Robbins
Yes.
and the Uncanny series. For anybody that obviously hasn't heard that story, go over to BBC Sounds. BBC, we all don't like to dislike BBC, but head over to BBC Sounds and
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
you can download all the Battersea Poltergeist episodes with the lady in question. I think they even did a live event with her as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
They brought her onto stage.
yes, I think they did this stage show, didn't they? As well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they brought on stage, and I sort of agree with Si at that point. That I split them down the middle, okay, because the Battersea one, yeah, I think is a very good story. You know, certain things, I think on my paranormal head, I have to think with my paranormal head sometimes, and waivers. But I think the Battersea Poltergeist is more believable than the Enfield Poltergeist. You know, my theories on, you know, that's a whole show.
Enfield was more. How can I say? It was probably more violent than the Battersea one, definitely. To what it did.
I don't know. I reserve my comments on that one, but I think it was more to do with the cha-ching than it was to do with
Any money.
anything. Well,
Yeah, I don't know because the amount of witnesses at the Enfield one,
cha-ching.
you know, the
No,
police
they
officers.
didn't get money. That's exactly where you're wrong. They did not get money. They did not get a penny for it. That's why we need somebody like Graham Morris to come on it, because he would then tell you.
They can all say they didn't receive any money. That's quite an easy lie to tell. Sorry, we didn't receive any money for that. You know, and their back pockets are lined. You know, I'm pretty sure the Sun newspaper
Yes,
would have
but do you
lined
think
their money.
Yeah, but do you think if their pockets were lined, they'd be living as they lived after?
I think they're going to live on the royalties for the rest of their lives.
Even though they'd have been living like kings and queens, and they don't.
Yeah,
They
but
still don't.
you've
Look
got
at where they live now.
you've got.
Where they live. I
I
risk my case.
I think I will reserve judgment on that. I strongly reserve judgment. I don't, you know, we're going back a long time. Money would have been different back then. We're looking at people.
The money would just be different with inflation. Money
You know.
would still be money.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just don't believe
I know,
the.
I know you
I've
don't,
got, it's a, you know, anyone that goes to the Sun newspaper as their first port of call.
Daily Mirror.
Daily Mirror, whatever it is, the tabloid newspaper, and that's what I liked about the Battersea Poltergeist. They actually went down the right avenues. It wasn't flashed in. They went and actually.
The paper.
Yeah, it was in the paper. It was, but it never went. That wasn't their first port of call.
But it was 1959. It wouldn't have been 1980.
Yeah,
1980.
you know,
Let's see if we can get this Graham Morris on the show, because if we could, he's the Daily Mirror reporter. He's the Daily Mirror photographer.
Yeah, I wouldn't. You know, he's the one that's got to make the story. He's the ones that back pocket would have been lined.
No, he didn't make
But
the story.
the paper approached the family. The family didn't approach the paper.
Yes, exactly.
The
That.
paper approached the family after they saw the police report.
Yes.
How did they get hold of the police report?
Apparently, it's open to the public when they file the reports.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're never going to get me thinking any different with the Enfield, and you're never going to get me thinking any different with the Enfield. I don't. You know, it just. I'm sorry. Yeah, there may be a couple of mediums that went in there that heard voices change and things like that.
Wasn't me.
You know,
it was Morris. It was Morris Grace.
But no, there was a medium that actually went in there, though, wasn't there? There was a medium that
At the end,
channeled at the end.
at the end, but Morris Gross was most, I think.
Look, I'm not here. We're not here to debate, and well, we are.
Well, stop arguing then.
But it was.
It's about.
Yeah, no, but obviously the Enfield one will just not ever sit right with me. But the Battersea one, 110% sits somewhere. It does. The Battersea one does.
No, I just want the comment coming from.
Oh well, that's exactly it. you know, people who want to believe orbs, that's their choice to do so. That's their choice to do so. You know, it's
It's not to say that they're wrong, though.
No. I'm not saying they're wrong. I just won't take that as paranormal evidence. I will not take a round cylindrical bit of dust with a face in it that our brains are trained to see as a bit of evidence.
Yeah, but you'll take a Bigfoot foot laying in the ground.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
I don't know. You know what I mean? I know what I mean. Come on.
It'd have to be. It would have. There's one. There's sort of signs that I would look. I'm not too on the Bigfoot feet. That's not my sort of thing. I'm more interested in the sounds and the snapping of the trees at the normal heights of around about 7 to 8 feet. That's my interest in the Bigfoot.
Winds. Strong winds.
Trees don't snap at working within the Horticultural Centre industry for 14 years and dealing with wind damage most winters. Never have I seen a tree snap at 7 to 8 foot. They always go near the base because it's the heaviest part. That's just my opinion on it. But that's why I love this subject. Right, okay, right. I've got comments coming in. We've got comments coming in, all right? Let's read some of the comments. My family has a ghost story. My dad, great aunt, she lived near St. Angus. Am I saying that? Angus in Cornwall. Her cottage was on a road where a woman called
Dorcas
walked past, where my dad's aunt said she talked to her. Dorcas killed herself after being jilted, evidently.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Cool.
That's really interesting. You know, that's what I love. I love to hear people's stories of ghosts and their hauntings, especially coming from Stuart.
Yeah.
That's even nicer. Apparently, I'm on one tonight. This is Essex Kurt. An interesting thing I noticed about the Enfield poltergeist: the ghost of the spirit sounded almost like Maurice Grosse, however you spell his name.
Yeah.
So, you know, it sounds like Kurt could be edging towards my side of the tennis court.
Yeah.
So yeah, I say, look, there is if the only way you'd ever find out about things like that is if we actually could jump in a time machine and head back to that and actually investigate it yourself.
Well, you got the shirt for it.
Yeah, and that, you know, you can only make everything that we see is anecdotal evidence. So yeah, I say. But I'm with you. I'm with you on that 100% on the Battersea poltergeist. One of the probably, what do you call it, podcasts or?
That's a great podcast. Yeah.
Even though it comes under the podcast sense, it's almost like it's more of a documentary type audio book, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, very good. I don't actually know if he's done one on Enfield. I don't know if he's ever actually covered Enfield.
No, I don't think he has. I haven't seen anything like that. But there is one coming onto a documentary based a soap. I want to call it a soap or he's releasing, isn't he? On the second one he done, The Witch Farm, is it?
Oh, what, in Wales?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The TV program that he's done, but I don't quite know how that is going to be portrayed. I don't know if it comes in as a, what would you call, not a soap, what do you call them? Series?
Yeah.
Like it's like people acting what went on there, or it's going to be the actual people talking to you regarding it and like reliving what went on. I don't know how it's going to work, but I think that's very soon, to be fair.
Good.
I think that's coming out very soon.
Because there's another one that actually grabbed my attention.
Yeah, well, once again, reserve judgment on that one as well. But we can come back to that one. So Simon's has gone with the Battersea. I saw I saw the live Battersea show in Ipswich. It was really that's where she did it, wasn't it? I remember seeing clips of it.
Yeah.
So right, Joe has put, let's have a look at Joe's scariest event for me wasn't Harwich, funny enough. It was Cashie's well being chased off by the red eyes floating in the air and chasing us out of them damn woods.
That's very true, actually. Do you remember that night?
I do remember that night. But that all
we did move, didn't we?
But that all started off with a something happened on that crossroads, didn't it, as well? Before that,
I can't remember where it's started. I can't remember if we'd come out of the well, walking down.
No, it started. We did our normal walk, so we walked from. Sorry, Paul. We'll get to you in a minute.
Go for it.
We walked from the car to our normal spot. Whatever his name was, God rest his soul, can't remember his name. Jason. We did our normal bit there. We walked down to that crossroads, walked up to the well, and there was something there because we couldn't go one way and we couldn't go the other way.
Yeah, that's right.
But we managed to talk ourselves into going to the well, and that's when all the red lights and stuff started to sort of chase us out of the woods. So
I don't think we look back. Actually, I can't. All I remember is getting out of there pretty damn quick.
Yeah.
To be honest. Yeah.
Snap. I do remember. Right. Let's move on to Paul. Paul, you've got 3 to choose from: UFO, conspiracy, or ghost. Whatever you want.
Well, I might as well do my ghost one first while I'm on the ghost subject. But I didn't realise it was the kind of route we're going down, because I've gone from one of my own experiences.
That's fine. I said that.
It's fine.
It's I don't know if it's my favourite, but it's the one that I remember. It's sort of imprinted in my brain, and I think I have spoke about it before on the show. When I moved into my second home with my wife, before I had kids. It was before I had kids. We'd only been there a couple of weeks. I had to rip the kitchen out because there was a massive water leak. Everything was going wrong with doing this, doing that. And I had all my new kitchen sort of still in the wrapper in the kitchen while I was doing the plastering, this and that. And we was sitting in the front room. It was a separate kitchen in a separate front room. You know, it wasn't like a kitchen diner. That's one thing we liked about that house. It was separated. Kitchen diner, one room, living room, the other room. And we were sitting there watching telly one night, and we could hear this weird thumping coming from the kitchen. And we're like, what on earth is that noise? And as I walked out into the kitchen, I got a washing machine and dishwasher in the middle of the kitchen floor, still in the polystyrene in the plastic wrapping. I hadn't even unwrapped it, plumbed it in, plugged it in, whatever. And the washing machine was bouncing as if it was on, just on the spot. And I'm like, what on earth is going on? You know how heavy washing machines are.
Yeah.
And as I've stepped into the room, it just stopped dead. And I was like, what? I mean, it was hard to pick a story because growing up, I've got so many different paranormal things that have happened from the childhood home and this and that. But this one really stuck with me because it scared me, but at the same time, I sort of shrugged it off, trying to find a logical explanation for it. Not that I could. But anyway, that night in bed, I woke up. I couldn't even tell you what time it was because I didn't even look at the clock. And it was like that moment in The Sixth Sense, you know, when he breathes out and you just got that ice cold mist.
Yeah.
I was in bed, duvet on, wife's sando next to me, and I just woke up thinking, God, that's cold. And I've opened my eyes and I breathed out, and it was just like that.
Wow.
And I was like, what on earth is going on here? But I couldn't see anything. But I felt like there was something walking around the bed. And it was an awful feeling. And I've sort of lifted my head up slightly. And I think she's still got a teddy. I should have brought it down. On the chest of drawers next to the TV, we had, my wife's got a teddy bear that I bought her. and it's holding a heart, and it's got a picture of me and her in it. And as I've looked over, looking around the room, I've looked at this teddy bear, and where it's got his arms like that holding the heart, one of the hands was going like that over the picture. And I was a bit like, surely I'm seeing things. I've just woke up, you know, your eyes play tricks on you, it's dark. So I've sort of shook my head, rubbed my eyes a bit, and I've looked back at it, and it was still doing it. And my heart was absolutely, I thought I daren't wake her up. We'd only moved it, we'd only been in 2 weeks. If I'd woke her up to that, we would have been moving her back out again. So I refused to look back at the teddy bear, and I just sort of lied back like, I couldn't even put the duvet over me because I had to be aware of what the hell was going on. And it was just like something was walking around the bed, and it was freezing cold. And I don't actually remember falling back to sleep, but it just kind of diminished, you know, just gradually went away. And I eventually did fall asleep. And at that time, my granddad was still a practicing minister. I remember phoning him first thing in the morning, and he come down and blessed the place, like, you know. And luckily after that, nothing else happened. But that to me was one of my. I think the kitchen bit didn't really scare me that much, but the bit in the bedroom, I think if the wife wasn't next to me, would I have attempted to run out of the room? Maybe.
Oh, the only thing that surprises me in that story is you didn't run.
No, I was honestly, mate. It was one of them sort of scared stiff moments.
But
I think even if I was on my own, I don't think I would have left that bed.
But I suppose you could put that down to the work you were doing in the house, because they say it disturbs.
It's disturbing the spirit, yeah. So because you know, my granddad was a medium anyway, and when he walked through the house, he did say that someone has passed in the house. I think it was a 1930s built house, which isn't that old, but it's got some years on it. And yeah, he did say there was a female spirit there that didn't like what I was doing to the place. But even then, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. These are all stories that mean something to us. You know, there was no. When I said, Paul, in the text message, there was no remit to what we had to talk about. I did say real or story to what you meant. So
yeah.
It's the remit. But the only thing I would say as my anecdotal evidence is I think we should put it out to the vote. Did this story actually happen? Because I'm guaranteed Paul would have run. You know, when as a paranormal investigator, you have to weigh up the evidence. Do you know what I mean? You know, we sit Paul down, we interview him. So, Paul, what's gone on? And if he said, I stayed there and watched this thing rub, I'm thinking, well, if that's the real Paul would have run.
So let me stop you there, right? And we keep going through this, and we have this every time. Now, there may have been, one occasion I might have been a bit quick on my feet. Other than that, when was the last time you see me run?
The only problem, Paul, is that you document most of our ghost hunts. So there's a lot of, you know, when you watch the video back, there's a lot of, I
just jump.
Yeah. You know.
And that video I've got of us when we was at Kelvedon Hatch nuclear bunker, and we was in that basement, and Kim was there, Maz was there, and that generator kicked in. Everyone jumped and screamed. It was mayhem. And you watched the camera that I was holding. It was dead still. I didn't even jump.
Yeah, so, that's only because it was on a tripod and you was up.
No, get out of
it. That's a really good story, mate. That is really good.
No, it's. I like the fact is that it was the fact you said you did this, like everyone would do naturally.
100%.
And I think if you did that and then it wasn't doing it, I think your mind would have gone. I've seen that with my. It was the fact it was still doing it is a key bit of the evidence in my. You know, that's what I look at when I listen to people. It's like he did everything normally that you would do when you wake up or try to distract yourself. you know, you do it at events sometimes, don't you? You know,
Yeah.
you see a dark shadow in the corner. I'm, you know, if I've seen something, this is what I normally literally take my glasses off. I then wash my glasses and then do that and look again. I try to see, you know, if there's something there that I'm seeing that isn't. Yeah, sometimes it will disappear because it could be something on the glasses or that it was a quick movement.
Yeah.
But
But I've done it before when I've woke up and I've seen something that you think is moving, and you sort of do that, and it's not, and it is your eyes that can play tricks on you when you've just woken up. I get that, and that is 100% because this thing was clear as day, rolling its hand over the photo. And that was the one thing that worried me. I was like, Jesus, what's going to happen to us? Is this a warning? It was one of the first things I said to my granddad, like, you know, I said, what's up with the picture? Why would it do that?
do you actually feel it was a warning?
No,
No.
It just
I
felt,
thought it was.
yeah. But can I ask you what made you think of that?
Because out of everything that could have moved around the room, it was the teddy that I bought my wife, and it had a picture of the pair of us in it, inside the heart. So I think, why would it be doing that over the picture?
Yeah, yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Yeah, but then also to me, looking at that, that's like someone caressing the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, the teddy actually does it. It holds.
Yeah,
the
but that's
heart.
what I'm saying. If it was, it look, devil's advocate for you.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, with you. No,
Yeah,
what you're
so
saying there.
it's like
Yes,
doing
yeah,
that,
give
it's
it
rubbing the heart. If I'm waking up and the teddy bear's doing that, then yeah, I'm out the door, Paul. But you know, it's just rubbing the heart. It's just
Yeah,
doing
no, I
that,
get what you're saying. Yeah.
you know, maybe like more. You know, if someone's
No,
not well, you
so more than anything, Russ, it was the feeling.
yes, no,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, it was like ice cold, and I'm under the duvet, and I was shaking, like, and I can't even say that I didn't hear anything going around the bed. I've just felt it, like literally, like as if it was pacing around the bed.
But then, you know, my head naturally goes to that could have been a previous owner come into your bedroom, knowing that you are open and susceptible to it, even though you know back then you may have not been as open, but your family is, your granddad was. You know, to me that could be sort of the previous owner or someone in the previous house showing their appreciation with the heart. Thank you for looking after my home and making it better. You know, thank you.
Never from that day to this has anyone said that, and I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I actually thought of it when you said rubber. It wasn't as as Russ is saying. It's not going. It's like caressing it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like
Don't get the washing machine bit though. 'Cause that's weird.
No, I don't know what the hell that was. That was weird.
That was the same owner saying, "Do me bloody washing."
Well, I think it was the night before that, or a couple of nights before that, because the washing machine was in a different place. It was underneath the window in the kitchen. It was a weird sound again, and it was a load of water running onto the plastic on top of the washing machine. But what had happened, the overflow in the toilet upstairs had stopped working. It had broke. So the water was just trickling out the toilet, going through the floorboards and coming down the ceiling onto the plastic of the washing machine. And you know what that sounds like? Water, just like a shower going on plastic.
Yeah.
It was so loud. And that was about, I don't think it was a night, but it was about 2-3 days beforehand that happened. So we was getting all sorts going wrong.
Interesting. And
Like
to be fair, you've never ever said that on this show, Paul.
I'm pretty sure I have.
I can guarantee you now. I will go through every bit of paperwork I've got, and I write everything down pretty much story-wise. People, I have never heard you say about that at all.
It might have been when I was a guest when you first started with Joe.
But I've heard you talk about stories of sort of that sort of thing, like when you was young, but never with the teddy bear and the heart
Yeah.
or the washing machine. You know, Essex Kirk washing machine is good. He likes that one. Good old Essex. We like that as well. I like that one as well.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I am gonna go to my ghost story. Thank you, Paul, for that.
Yeah.
We'll come back to you later on with that when whatever we're going on to our conspiracy or ufology ones, if we make it that far, because we're already halfway through the show. And we've got the ghost stories. I'm torn between two. Okay, I'm torn between two, but I think I am going to go with Craig Wynos Castle because it is, in all the years that I have been ghost hunting, and we're coming into our 26th year, that there's only ever been 2 times that a real physical force has shown itself. And it happened when we was doing a seance in Wales. And it also, the first time it ever happened to me, it did it at we weren't doing a seance. We was at we wasn't hosting an event. We was at an event. We went to this event, and it was a great location. I think Joe, if Joe's still in the chat, he joined us. He joined me, and Ryan, I believe, was there as well. I don't think you was there that time, Simon. Was you?
I was, because I think it was Carol's first transplant, funny enough, and I couldn't leave her.
I couldn't. I can't. So we was doing some investigating, and me and Joe and 2 of the guests, we started to walk down the stairs of the cellar into the bar area, the underground of Craig Wynos Castle. And we was walking down the stairs, and it was very old fashioned, like Valence House in the cellars, where you got the stone arches and everything, but you could walk down it. You had to crouch, but you could get down it. And then right at the end, there was this like door. And in front of this door, there was a stool. And on the stool, there was a box. And I said to Joe, Joe, that box is moving. And as I went to get my phone out to record it or do something, to take a photo of it or something, the box just picked up and threw, just went at us. And I was like, but I knew that was going to happen. And the same sort of thing happened in Wales when we did the seance. Remember with the box that flew, Jay's Carlin box or whatever he was drinking, flew off the chair behind us.
Yeah.
And it flew, and I think Joe, I don't know, Joe, we first we thought it was the wind behind the door, so we put the box back on the chair. We tried to make it go again. We was checking for drafts, but we just couldn't recreate. And I remember it clear as day because it didn't just go like that. It lifted and went as if something lifted and threw it at us. I'm glad you remember it, Joe. I'm literally glad you remember it because I think it was only me and you, and they were behind us. I think we were going first. But we never worked out what it was. I couldn't work out what it was. It didn't feel... I don't think it felt disgruntled, but I don't feel disgruntlement. Do you know what I mean? If something throws something at me, that's sort of straight away an angry so-and-so, isn't it? So, but there was a lot going on there. And that's what it reminded me of. That it was a bit of evidence, and it's only ever happened twice. And, we've done a lot of events over the years, and we've done a lot of investigations over the years, and physical evidence like that is few and far between. It's not like Most Haunted when you see it every week on their shows. Yes, it was. The castle was built for her, wasn't it? Or she was gifted it by something, I don't know her second name, but yeah, you are right, Joe. It was. And Si, you've been there. We've been
Yeah.
there since we've been shown around. There was a leprosy hospital there.
Yeah,
Or
it's
there's a
hospital
hospital.
behind it. Yeah.
Very, very, very bizarre, strange place. Set in the Brecon Beacons.
Wedding venue, funny enough.
Yeah. Wasn't it the Nook under the stairs or something? Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was literally, it was right at the end of the corridor.
Joe, you don't have Nookie under the stairs now, do you, mate?
it was just that bit of evidence that was like, wow. It was something that I couldn't debunk. Always.
Has he gone funny with you, Si? Or
Yeah. No, Russ, you come funny, mate.
About
No, no.
oh,
You're completely frozen now, mate. It's gone
he's
funny.
gone funny. Yeah.
It's only you, mate, that's gone funny, I think. It's only Russ that's gone funny.
That's what we can hear, mate, if you can hear us.
it seems to try and
I'm going to have to check, see if he's going out like that, because if it's just us seeing it.
No, he's gone.
Right, he's gone.
Yeah, that place he's talking about, though, is really weird. It's a weird place, but now it's a big wedding venue.
But
And
you
I
find
think-
there's a lot of places like that.
I think
All
that's
old
good.
places.
Yeah, we're still talking. Yeah, Russ with. Yeah, I know.
hello.
Hello.
That's better.
That's better. I do generally think that there is a lot of interference via the internet at the moment with the cloud coverage and the storm, because we've gone very, very dark at the moment.
Mhm.
Literally.
It's probably going to be that. Yeah.
So you know, you guys probably won't lose the signal. So if I disappear, it will default to one of yours. So just
Yeah, we carry on.
but yeah, obviously he didn't like me talking about Craig Wynoff's Castle. But yeah, very, very good. There was a lot of things. I don't know if Joe remembers the hospital bit up the top with all the beds, and at the end of every bed there was a cross hanging on the wall. It was a very, very bizarre place. But loved every minute of it. Loved every minute. It sounded like a Norman cellar.
Norman Collier, you probably wouldn't. You're probably too young to remember him. He used to go.
All right. It's definitely my end because it's my camera that's coming up disconnected. So it is something that is probably to do with the Wi-Fi signal. So please do not panic. I'm not panicking at this one because I know what the issue is, which is more better. Joe does remember it. It was a real strange place. But yeah, that was probably one of my favourites. There is others. I think the creepy hospital. Yeah, there is definitely others. But I've told them all before, i.e., the likes of the famous spirit board at Harwich Fort, Simon,
Yeah.
with one of our guests.
Yeah.
But people have heard that story, so I went a little bit. And St Breville's Castle as well. They were my two ones that I was torn between. St Breville's Castle and that for something a little bit different. But But then I have to sort of go to places like the nuclear bunker pool when my phone started to play silly things.
That was a toss up for me. It was either talk about one of my experiences or that's one of my favourite places, nuclear bunker. It's never the same every time we go there.
We've had phones ringing there that were disconnected.
Yeah,
I've
had
had-
lights go on that were disconnected.
Yeah. You know, it's got a lot of, you know, so there was a lot of things that we sort of, I sort of tossed up to, the monster hippos at Breville's Castle.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, Joe. I really don't. And we'll move on very, very swiftly. All right, we shall move on. But no,
Right,
there.
yeah.
Ah,
Just go back to the bunker for a minute.
yeah.
You've seen, this is just off topic a little bit. You've seen they're doing ghost hunts for children there now.
Sorry, ghost hunts for children.
Yeah, between the ages of 12, starts from the age of 12.
But I've noticed a lot of teams are beginning to do that.
Do you not think that's a little bit dangerous?
No and yes.
Depends who's running it.
Yeah, this is something that's not just isolated to Kelvedon Nuclear Bunker.
No.
This is something that's been I've noticed a lot on my Facebook feed of teenage ghost hunting before 18 and things like that. And I get it. I think if done properly, I think children should be aware of there is, preferences out there. If children are seeing, I think 12 probably is a bit too young for me. I think I would probably go 15 and above.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, I agree with.
But yeah, children are very susceptible to it. So if it is just more of a demonstration of what they can do and what they can witness, rather than using the children as, what would you call it, as tools and using them as the conductors, then I don't see a problem with it. 12 I would see a problem with, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit too young, that.
In my head, yeah.
Yeah.
Think. But then I suppose it's down to the parents as well. I suppose you have to take the parents into consideration as well.
You have to be accompanied by a parent.
I think, especially with this generation, I think when we were that age, I'd say, yeah, I'd handle that, no problem. It's a definite different generation now with kids.
I think children are better equipped to what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
They would be better at social media side of things, let's say that.
I suppose they've got more access to things now, haven't they? Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
It's in line with the cinema rule. Yeah, I feel 12 is a bit too young. I do feel 12 is a little bit too young in my eye.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
But, you have to take the parents into that. If I had a 12-year-old child, would I be taking them to a paranormal event? No, I don't think I would.
No, not would I.
15, I think, is fine in my eyes.
Yeah. But a sensible 15.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Right, time to move on. So, do you want to go conspiracy or do you want to go ufology? Where do you want to go?
Ufology.
Let's go ufology then. Simon, you can start the reading.
I've got one or two here, and I think I'll probably go for the second one. So it's my own story, and I think it's Cannock Chase.
The what, sorry?
Cannock Chase experience. And this was after the Rendlesham experience that I had. But this was Cannock Chase, and we were all there. so Tina, Sandra, a lot of the group. We went to Cannock Chase, and we have found it since. But then we did catch evidence since that day. But I'll go into that in a minute. And I suppose for me it wasn't so bad, but the thing was Sandra started to pick up on the same things that I picked up in Rendlesham, which is really, really weird. So she was sort of telling me what she was seeing, and I'm saying, yeah, but that's what I was seeing. But I wasn't seeing it at Cannock Chase. I was not seeing it at Cannock Chase. I was spiritually connected, it was great. But Sandra was getting it, and again, Sandra got pretty badly hit by it, didn't she? Not probably there, but on the way home. But the strange thing with Cannock Chase on the way home is either we can't quite work it out if we lost time or Russ lost time in the travel home. It was so strange because they left and we didn't know where we were going. We were in Tina's car and I said, oh, great, Russ has sped off. He's gone that way. Russ will tell you that he waited for us and see us move off, but he'd gone. He'd actually gone. So we just drove blindly, not knowing where we were going. We didn't have sat-nav to find our way home. We did pick, funny enough, 20 minutes, seemed like 5-10 minutes later, we picked up Russ again in the car, not thinking about it. So then we went on to this motorway, and I had Henry in the back with me. I think it was Tina. I can't remember who was in the front. Lauren, possibly?
Yeah, Lauren was with us, yeah.
Lauren was in the front of the car, and Henry started to really panic. Now, Henry's not into ufology at all, but he could see something in the field. Can't you see the lights in the field, Si? And he could see a craft in the field. And we were moving along, and then all of a sudden, Russ is flashing us to pull in because something was wrong with Sandra. Well, by this time, I'm in the back of Henry, and I was just taking the mickey out of him. And it is really unlike me, but I'm going to say, don't worry, H, I've only come to Angel Probia and all that. Well, our car was absolutely in fits of laughter. Tina, Laura and me were just crying with laughter. But you had a totally different experience in your car, didn't you?
Well, the more you say it, with your opening statement of your story, it's debatable who lost the time now. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I lost time because I cannot even confirm to you that I lost time because I didn't look at anything associated with time in my car at that time. But all I know is when I pulled up, Tina pulled in frontwards into the spot, and I joked, I ain't pulling in frontwards because if I need to get a quick getaway, I want to be facing outwards. So I reversed the truck into the gap. So I was facing outwards along the road. Now, I said that in tongue in cheek, okay? Now, I had Maz, Jay, and Sandra in my car. Sandra would not have been with us, fully, because she had quite a rotten experience there. But Jay and Maz both will confirm that we all turned around, and I stopped the car on the hill because I can describe the hill to this day. Even when we went back, it was exactly how I saw it. I pulled out of the car and it was only a dirt, like where a gate is and you get a dirt field or anything like that. And I pulled out of it. I put it into first gear, drive. This is automatic. And I just let the car drift on itself, on its own revs. So it weren't going no further, faster than 2-3 miles an hour. And it's all I remember and I remember it clear as day because Tina had the right light out on the front of her car. She had the right light. So I knew she was following me all the way down there and all the way home.
But we
And
weren't. We had nothing in front of us.
about 50 foot, 100 foot. We just started to bank over the hill, and it went sort of right, then left. And I said to them, "Oh, they're pulling out now." Sandra, Maz turned around, Jay turned around. We all saw Tina pull out behind us, probably about 100 foot, if that. And we went down the hill. They were still following us. We could see them. We got to the traffic lights, and I went straight across at the traffic lights, but the traffic lights went red. So I waited across the other side of the traffic lights for them to come across, and they went left at the traffic lights.
We didn't.
But you did turn left at the traffic lights, but you must have, because you wasn't behind us till you got to the
We
roundabout.
weren't behind you though. We were
That's
not
what I'm
behind
saying.
you.
But that's what I'm saying. You pulled out of your track and you couldn't see us, but
No,
we could see
you were
you.
definitely not there, because I think even H said, "Nice of them to boom, 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 and wait for us."
Yeah.
That is H is coming, and I just thought, yeah,
And that's what makes me believe that it wasn't necessarily you that lost time, but it was us, because you couldn't see us.
yeah.
And you would have, we saw you as clear as day. 3 of us saw you, but none of, but we saw you driving.
No,
That doesn't.
You
That,
driving.
so listening to the story, I have heard the story. I remember you saying about it when you come back, but that doesn't to me sound like a time slip as such. It's like it's more of a. I'm trying to think of the word. It's almost as if you've got like a parallel universe type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So you've both gone off, and you're seeing it, but in the mirror world,
They didn't see us,
that's what I'm saying.
but we saw them.
Yeah, and we were looking for your lights. We were looking to follow your lights.
Yeah, but that's it. Doesn't sound like a time slip as such, does it? It's more like an alternate universe type scenario, you know.
But literally, you come to it was literally a T junction in the road, and I just pulled across the traffic lights because we saw them coming down. I put me hazard light outside a pub. We even found the pub that I just bumped up the curb, and I thought, oh, wait a minute, Tina will come across after us, and then we're all together again. And we watched them turn left.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, why are they turning left? I'm there. You can see me. Oh, it's bizarre. It was bizarre. And then, obviously, we got to this, in wherever it was, Cannock, just outside Staffordshire, this biggest roundabout that you could ever imagine. I'm coming around it, and there Tina just pulls directly out behind me onto the M4 back.
Exactly that.
Leamington Spa.
Exactly that.
So we've gone two different ways, back to the same roundabout. You couldn't have written it. You could not have.
But just to follow on and end that story, well, not end it, but add to it, how many years ago did we go back?
It took us a long time to go back. Well, not because we couldn't find we've been back to Cannock a couple of times prior to that, but to find the location, it took, what was it, me? It was me, you, Mike, Joe,
Tina,
Kim. Was Mikey there?
I think Mikey was there.
Yeah, and we found it by hook or by crook. We found it.
And I walked that same path, and for some reason, I was getting really aggressive. Really horrible feeling coming over me. Really aggressive feeling. So we went into, I don't know, you walked up some bit, they walked away, and I sort of broke away from the crowd. And I was just sitting there, and I just went, oh, well, I think I said, well, QET, if you're that clever, show yourself. And it did, didn't it? It copped.
We've got the footage somewhere.
Yeah. At the end of this, whatever it was, shot across. Clear as day. and I didn't see it first off.
Oh,
Really?
was that the one with the trees, the
That's it,
line
yeah.
in the trees, and that thing walks?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, and that was all over years later. And I just said, if you're that clever, do something then. Go on, do something in here.
No, it was. Yeah, I'm with you. It was
That's
experience.
really my UFO part, really.
But that is, somewhere that is, I think, somewhere we've got the actual audio footage of that, and at some points it cuts out. I think somewhere, if you look, I think Joe might be able to locate that. I know Joe wasn't there, but his Mixcloud, I think that goes on Mixcloud somewhere. I think that audio is somewhere on Mixcloud of that show. I'm pretty sure of it. I'd have to go back myself and try and get that not the footage, but the audio, because we interviewed, like, we was live at the time when it all happened, and it did dip out. It didn't record everything that we wanted it to record. So yeah, very bizarre. Great story.
Yeah.
It was say there's quite a few good stories regarding ET. But yeah, no, I'm with Simon on that one. Happy for us to move on, Mr. Carney?
Yeah. Fine, mate.
Paul, heading to you.
Yeah.
And remember, it doesn't have to be your own story.
It's not.
That's it.
It's not. It's one of my go-to films, and I believe we've done a show on it as well. It still fascinates me. It's that film called The Fourth Kind. It's the one with that town in Alaska, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Do you remember that with the psychiatrist? And in the film they do actual footage, and the Mila Jovovich plays the main character. Yeah, and the police vehicle at the end where the two children go missing. I still think to this day they haven't been found, have they?
No,
they just disappeared. And even on the dash cam on the police vehicle, you see something above the house that they disappear, never to be seen again. But yeah, it's I can't remember the name of the town in it either, but people kept seeing an owl. Owl always seems to be quite prevalent, doesn't it, when it comes to UFOs.
It was Alaska though, wasn't it?
Alaska, was it? What did I say?
It was Alaska, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I can't remember the town in Alaska where it was called.
Hold on, I shall just let me Google for you. You keep talking.
But yeah, it's something about that film. I mean, there's plenty of sort of based on facts, ufology type films out there, but this one I really enjoyed, and I found it because I don't think they ever really got to the bottom of any of it. It was basically like mass abduction. So this doctor would put them under hypnosis to try and get their memories out of what had happened. Yeah. And one of the fellas, when he's under hypnosis and he's trying to describe what happened, he just starts violently shaking and starts levitating on the sofa. It's kind of very bizarre.
Yeah, it's a very interesting town. And there's your name.
Nome, that was it. Yes, Nome.
Right, Nome in Alaska.
Yeah.
And a lot of things was going on there, wasn't it? A lot.
Yeah, when we looked into it, I remember we done a show on it. I should have read up on my notes. I'm sure I've got some somewhere. But yeah, we found out that there was quite a few people that had gone missing, hadn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's Alaska. I know it's very harsh winters and things like that. And, you know, people do generally go missing. But I think in the ratios of population and missing people compared to other areas, it was really high there.
There is another there's a documentary series of Alaska on Prime, I believe it is, and it's not just dedicated to Nome. It's just like Alaska in general, and there's a lot of people that fly over it, and they can literally see like doorways into the mountains and
Mm.
like openings where something should be going in. I think Alaska is quite a paranormal hotspot in every sense of the word, because you've got everything from sort of the ghost sort of sightings to ufology to cryptology. Everything that goes on there is very heightened.
Mm.
So yeah, I've seen the fourth kind. Don't know if you've seen it, Simon, but it's
Yes.
well worth a watch.
Yeah, no, I have. I remember when Paul was saying about the owl on the hypnotist. There was always an owl, wasn't there?
Yeah. They all kept seeing an owl outside the bedroom window or something.
That's it. Yes, I do remember. Yes, I have watched it, mate.
But what do you feel your significance is, that owl? Is it a sign of what they are? Is it a sign of... Because I'm pretty sure that we've heard owls.
Yeah, it's almost as if it's either a warning to say you're going to have an encounter, or what if there's some sort of, I don't know, I wouldn't say shapeshifter, but some sort of way of
Yeah,
like
could be travelling that way.
well, probing, like, you know, sort of getting in like reconnaissance, you know, sending something out like an owl, which is quite a common thing out in Alaska. Right, that's your target. You know, going out finding people, and I'm not saying it's an actual owl, but it just looks like an owl. But it could be something, you know,
It's
a bit like the Mothman prophecies, that type of thing. You know, I think that was a similar sort of thing, wasn't it? That was an owl or something like that before they saw the Mothman.
Yeah, it's very, very significant, and I generally do believe.
Yeah, it was always that owl, wasn't it? Yeah, and to be quite honest, I was once followed home in the car by now, and it put the fear of God in. Yeah, it put the fear of God
I
up.
was going to say,
It fucking did.
I had sort of like an experience. Do you remember when the night we did Harwich Fort and you all stayed there camping and I come home? On the way home, I was in the van at the time, and on the way home, I hit, you know, that bit where you come up from whatever the long road is onto the A12, and you bend round that slip road. And just as I broke onto the A12, an owl for about 500, 600 feet was parallel to the van.
Yeah,
Parallel.
and that did it to the car. And do you know what? It followed me for miles.
Yeah.
And I was really thinking, how do I lose this week?
That's its protection. But who knows? Yeah.
It could be.
do you know, I don't think I've ever seen an owl in the wild.
Yeah, I've seen
that's exactly where my head would go if something like that happened to me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh no.
We had the owl. Do you remember the church in Little Bursted sitting there watching us as well? Up in the corner, just watching us.
That's it, yeah, it was.
Loads of comments coming in, so I'm going to get to some comments, guys. All right. Joe said, what about the footage of the Tic Tac house that we caught live just during COVID? That you was recording it, Paul. That was
I remember that.
It's good, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I wouldn't have said it was a Tic Tac thing, though, was it? It looked like didn't it look like a plane or something? It just sort of appeared and then it was bizarre, almost like a playback of a World War II plane, wasn't it?
Dovetailed though. We've caught it one end and looking back up the Thames towards it, and Simon's caught it looking down the Thames towards it. That makes sense. So we've caught it twice in the same sort of vicinity, in the same area, but in the middle. That makes sense. Really. So that was a good one. Kim, the Alaskan Triangle. Now that's a rabbit hole.
Triangle.
What did I say?
I was being funny.
Oh, if it's on Prime, then Jeff Bonzo has a deal with Aliens. I think that you're right. I do
Yeah, I
think
think you're right.
a lot of documentaries on it. Similar to Nome, Alaska, was a documentary called The Missing 411. It's free film on YouTube. 30 to 40 people disappeared without a trace. I've been watching that.
Missing
watching
411.
I've been watching that, Joe. I've been watching that on something else. Someone's told me to watch that. You know, Paul, it's what that gentleman talks about. You know that video you sent us with Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Based on his book.
Oh, right.
One is the book that he's wrote. That's why I was watching it. Ain't it a weird world that we live in? We've just connected next week's show to that. Very, very strange. But yeah, no, it is. He's wrote the book, and the 411 is based on his book of the missing people of all different. I think there's police officers involved in it and everything. Joe, I will send you the video that Paul has sent me.
Oh, Joe, mate, you've got to watch it. It's 100% worth a watch.
Well, I've been listening to it in the car. I have it as a podcast in the car. So yeah, I'll send you that, Joe. It's very much worth it. So yeah, we've got to move on. Sorry, cut that short. We've got to move on. Yes, elk hunters, etc. Yeah, they look. Yeah, I get it. Right, where am I going? See, it's really hard because there's a couple. You know, your brain wants to take you to where you think you should go. This is the problem. No, because it's going to be the same old tosh that we talk about, and it's not tosh, but the listeners talk about. So, you know, for us, Rendlesham plays a massive part in ufology for us. So we could go there every day of the week, and we have things like that. You've got to look at obviously things that we've seen. I think for me, one of the great bits of evidence that we've caught is Cannock Chase's footage with something moving. I don't personally think that's alien. I think that's cryptoid because of the height of it. The white that was standing, the height, it's a long way up the tree. So I definitely feel that's more cryptoid than extraterrestrial, but even though we could fit cryptoids into extraterrestrial, I go to the footage that Simon caught along the Thames, from Canvey down towards. He was taking pictures of lights flickering, even though that was quite an anomaly itself.
Yes.
It wasn't the anomaly that we
caught on camera.
But I'm going to go to my own experience with Jay in Wales when that connection with ET that I had in the cottage in the middle of nowhere, I will never ever forget in my life. I can't not live with it. Do you know what I mean? It was the most amazing experience when Tina sent me back up that mountain to find them ETs sitting there on the top of that mountain and communicated in a way that has no bearing on my sense. I don't know how we were communicating. We was having full-blown conversation, but with no words. I remember standing there in fear. Even to this day, I remember it, and they were so gentle, so pure, and they were just here to sit for the water. They were just collecting the water for their world or whatever they were doing to live. I don't know. I remember asking, will I ever see them again? And they said no. And, you know, that was that was hard. I don't know why it was hard. That, you know, it was bizarre. But yeah, that will forever live in my ET experience. For a day, you know, that translucent, you know, that's exactly how I see it. It was translucent with that sort of color through it behind, up the top there, wisping around. If you could imagine a glass filled with whatever, it was just fantastic. No, no distinct eyes or mouth or face. It was very distinct, obviously, sort of head, arms, legs, body, but was it in context with ours? No. Um, it wasn't. It really, it really, it was bizarre. It was very bizarre. You could never, yeah, to relive it, I'd love to. And I've tried to. I've tried to relive that. I've tried to call that species back. I'd love to talk to them again. Not, yeah. To be fair, Joe, absolutely, it did. I don't know why though. I do not know why. I couldn't tell you. They were pure. They never filled me with, not like the ones that Simon and we've all come across in Rendlesham that fill me with what's like, you know, not dread. That's the wrong word, too strong. But there's definitely some form of hatred between us and them. The fear they put into us to tell Simon, things like that. This wasn't. They were shocked to see me. They were shocked that I could see them, and it was, yeah, very bizarre, very, very bizarre. So yeah, one day, hopefully they will come back and meet me, but who knows? Who knows? So that was my story, my favourite story to do with extraterrestrials. So yeah, hopefully they will come back one day, but I don't know. I really don't know. Let's just go to Kurt here. Kurt put some future ghost hunting locations I'd love to go with EGH is Smugglers Adventures, Hastings, in St Clement's Caves, the True Crime Museum. We've been to the Crew, not a bad drive there. Had a night training a travel lodge there. True Crimes, we've done True Crimes, but it's right next to a pub, unfortunately. So you get a lot of.
No, the pub's in it.
Oh yeah, exactly. So there you go.
It's a good place. Don't get me wrong, it's a good place. It's got a lot of objects in there. It has got a lot of objects, but it's very small.
Very small.
And what they ask for it is very
yeah. The
caves. I've heard these caves.
Smuggler's Adventure, Hastings, in St Clement's Caves. If Kim and Sandra are watching, I'll highlight it so we can go back and look at it again, just for us. Right, we're going to go to our conspiracies. It's going to be very quick. So, what is your favourite ever conspiracy?
Well, very, very quick.
Yeah.
Right. 1968, they walked. The man.
Hold on. 1968. Yeah.
Man walks on the moon. Now, I watched it. Okay. Now, did they walk in the moon? Didn't they walk on the moon? And what are we now? 60 odd years later. And my mind now is telling me they didn't go to the moon. But I would just like to know that. Why don't somebody just come true and say, no, we didn't? Or, yes, we did. So that's my one. It's the moon landing.
Well, I think we could probably have a show on all these together, the conspiracy side of things, our favourite conspiracies, couldn't we? We really could. Because I think that whole moon landing one, probably we could have a whole show on itself.
I watched it. I remember watching the bloody telly in black and white, and then somebody really, like 10 years later, I think walking the moon, and I'm thinking, that's next you're going to tell me they didn't win the World Cup. And I remember that as well.
Right, Paul.
I've sort of gone for a new conspiracy because I've noticed it myself quite a lot. And it's called the dead internet theory. Have you heard of
Right.
this one?
Nope.
No.
So I pulled up an explanation for it because when you read the explanation or hear the explanation, you'll be like, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. The theory suggests that the vast majority of the internet as we know it no longer is populated by real human beings. Instead, proponents claim that the web is carefully curated, algorithmic ghost town generated entirely by artificial intelligence, bots, and covert government agencies to manipulate human behavior and track populations. Now, I strongly believe that, especially when I look at my algorithm with the social medias, especially Facebook. There's very few human things posts that I'm seeing on there now.
Yeah.
A lot of it is bots and AI.
Yeah.
And it's all to do with, it's still within the algorithm of things you're interested in, but it's always things that are trying to sway my way of thinking.
Interesting. That's
Yeah.
a deep topic as well.
Yeah.
Dead internet theory. I think we could probably pick another show for this. I think we will. Probably
okay.
we'll probably pick a conspiracy show in a couple of weeks' time because I think we need to discuss them like we've discussed all our other stories. There you go. So they can't. It'll open up a can of worms. 1969.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I'm retiring because of AI is taking over my job. I'm jumping before I am pushed.
More ghost hunts, Stuart.
Yeah, more time to join us, Stuart. And one of my favourite conspiracies is JFK brain. That's all I'm going to say. The JFK's brain. I'm not worried about the shooting, but the brain. Very, very intrigues me, that does. And I've watched a lot of documentaries and listened to a lot of podcasts about JFK's brain. And JFK's brain could still be alive today. I'm with Claire says, I'm with Si. No, they didn't go to the moon.
Yeah.
So, well, there. I think we need to explore our conspiracies more, okay? Because we haven't really had much time to explore our the conspiracy sides of it, and I think
And we love a good conspiracy, don't we?
of course we do.
Yeah.
Of course, there's nothing like a good conspiracy because it's one of them things. Please explain the brain more. I'm going to leave it on a cliffhanger, Joe.
No,
Okay.
no. Just explain 2 minutes of it. What it's about. The brain could still be alive.
Right. So, JFK got shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, JFK was a Catholic. Okay, so his body and his wife never wanted a post-mortem or anything done to the body. Okay, it had to lay in state exactly how it was found dead, deceased on the table. Yeah. So they did that, but the body went missing for 2 days. And what was the name of his wife?
Jackie.
Jackie went absolutely doolally. And then they found it wasn't misplaced. It was just misplaced. It was in a different fridge to what they looked at. Blah blah blah. Okay, so when the body got put in and laid in state, Jackie noticed that they had stitched the head back into some form of normality. Now that shouldn't have happened because it's not the way it should have been. That's not how he wanted to go. It was like that. So the funeral went ahead. He got buried and all that, and he got moved at some point to a different place of rest. Okay, but Jackie wanted his body put into a new casket, like a better casket. And when they opened up the body, they found that the top of his head had been unstitched and his brain had been removed and placed back on it. And the JFK brain theory is that they wanted him for his knowledge because of his link to extraterrestrial being. Because he was like another. Let's just say Donald
Disclosure profit, wasn't he? He wanted everything out.
He wanted everything out, and he was going for it, and he would have got it because that's why he was popped off, not like all the others that, you know, Mr. Trump that wants disclosure and nothing's come out. You know, JFK was going to absolutely unearth everything, and he had it, and that's why they popped him off. I don't think there was as much control back then. Obviously, there wasn't as much social media. There wasn't as much this, that, and the other. It's just one of them things that that's a very rundown. There's a lot more in depth to it than, you know, just a head brain going missing. That's very short crux to it. But as you have a look at it, have a look at the JFK, the brain theory going missing. What's this? Sorry.
Capricorn 1. Yeah. Have I watched it? I think I have, but probably a long time ago. It's quite old, Stuart, or?
I think that's the new one, wasn't it? The new one that they bought out?
I don't know. I haven't heard of it. So
It's on ITV, okay.
Yeah. All right. He wanted to drain the swamp. Yeah, Henny was close. Hence why I think he got killed. Right, but that's for a whole nother show. Let's not go any more deeper than we need to go because we're going to keep them for another show because we always need shows. So
yeah, 70s. I thought it was. It is. Yeah, I watched it a long time ago.
Well, yeah, 70s.
Yeah. And on that note, guys, I want to say thank you for everybody that has joined us tonight. I'm glad that this one, when the signal does go a little bit funny, it keeps people on air. Not like the other one, when it goes funny, it just boots whoever it wants off and no one can get back on. So I'm just more glad that we've gotten through 2 weeks with 2 potential back-to-back shows that we've had a decent conversation with. So take care, everybody. We will see you all next week with what are we talking about? Sorry, the missing and the 411 missing detective. And I think Joe knows a little bit about that as well. So if he's watched it, join us. He might even join us live with us. So stay tuned, guys. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Paranormal Paul, thank you ever so much. Mr. Psychic Si, thank you very much. Thank you for everybody that has commented tonight. We really appreciate it. The show doesn't work without you guys. Thank you for everybody that's watched over on TikTok as well, YouTube and Facebook. Really, really appreciate it. Remember, if you've only just joined us halfway through and you want to listen to the start of the show and listen again, please head over to Spotify. Just remember, it's Journey Through the EGH Talk Show. Journey Through the EGH Talk Show. All the links will be found on all our social media platforms, Essex Ghost Hunters and Journey Through the EGH Talk Show as well on Facebook. So take care, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye-bye.